Go on, I'll let you do the introduction.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Hello.
If you're new here, I'm Kim, this is Andy. Got it right this time.
Makes a change.
And today, I believe he's doing an unboxing.
I'm going to not necessarily do an unboxing, but this is the beginning part to our next big upgrade for the Caravan that we've got.
The dogs want to be in it as well.
The dogs want to be in it. So we've got a 110 amp lead acid battery in the Caravan where we've been away a few times. It's 5 years old now and it's showing its age. And the last time we was away, within 2 days, I think it was pretty much flat. We were away in September and the solar wasn't very good. So it just wasn't, it was topping the battery up, but it just wasn't filling the battery up. So we've got an upgrade. So like Kim said, I'm going to do an unboxing. It's not really an unboxing, but what you get with it might help some people choose. Some battery terminals and insulators. A book. Another book. Yeah, a leaflet and a leaflet.
Oh, it's upside down.
It's not. It's going. It's well packed. It's very well packed. It has to be very well packed. So you've got a handle, so it should make it down slightly easier to lift down.
This is going to be stuck in the bottom.
I could probably do this myself actually. Yeah, it's stuck in the bottom. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
There she is. It's a Lithium.
Isn't she beautiful? So pretty.
You beauty. She's so beautiful. 280 amp hours. We've currently got 110. We can use 55 of that before the battery's flat. This being 280, we can use pretty much all of it. And that you don't understand, do you?
No.
You think it's heavy. With the old battery, it's going to be around about 25 kilos, 26 kilos, which I'll weigh. This is 29, so it's 3 kilos more. And I can use all of the 280 amps pretty much.
Have you downloaded the app?
Yeah, it's Bluetooth. It's got some sort of protection for heat or cold, one of the two. I did look at other brands. Other brands were Fogstar and
Renogy.
Renogy didn't have a very good write-up for customer service, funnily enough. Probably fine.
You lost your train of thought.
No, I know what I'm thinking about. I know what I'm talking about. Fogstar, thank you, Fogstar, have good write-up, but the lead time on their batteries is horrendous. It's over a month. So I went with these guys. I also watched somebody called Mel doing a van, and he's been gifted one of these, and he likes it, but he's been gifted it. So this is purchased, and it's going to go in the van. I've got to install it behind the axle under the bed. Take out the old one. So I'm going to do some facts and figures as I go, as I install it. I need to put wires on, so tails for the negative and the positive, remove the old battery. I'm going to fuse both positive and negative sides.
Take the plastic off.
Go on then.
Oh, that's so satisfying.
So satisfying that she's done it. Right. Hey, pack it in.
There's more plastic.
Oh, okay. Oh. Let's go sideways, I expect. That's it. No. You've got to come this side now.
It's got stock.
You've got to finish your job off.
Stock.
No, underneath, pull it out. That's it.
Oh no, left a bit.
Oh, Jesus. So there you go. It's a big old battery. I will be installing it up as it is. I'm going to have a quick look underneath because.
Yeah, let me help. Shall I help?
Just want to tip it that way.
Are you allowed to tip it?
Yeah. Okay, some batteries they allow an installation of brackets underneath. This one doesn't. 280 amps. So that's nearly.
How much was it?
That's nearly 6 times greater than what the current battery is. How much was what?
This battery, or are you going to say about that later?
I can say how much this battery was. This battery was, and that includes the Hall sensor, which tells me and anybody inside the van what's happening with the battery, and the lithium charger that went with it was it's either a shade over 550 or just under 550 pounds, 560 pounds I want to say.
Isn't too bad really.
So no, I mean the other battery is coming up to its end of life anyway, I believe. need to replace it anyway. So this is going to be its replacement. So we're going to fit it in the van.
Welcome
as I said.
to the family.
Precious baby.
I suppose we're going to put the other one in the garden then, are we?
Yeah, the other one just stay in the garden. Let somebody take it on. No, the other one will be disposed of responsibly.
Yeah, the tip.
Give it a cuddle.
You're lovely.
Give it a kiss. Welcome it. Welcome it. Welcome it to the family properly.
I already have. I'm not. You kiss it.
I love you more than my wife. Onwards to the install.
Well then.
Welcome back. I'm in the caravan. Continuity is going to be all over the place for this, because you would have seen the battery, the beast. That was done in the kitchen, showing you what it is. Now today I'm going to be looking out and seeing where I'm going to be running my cables from and to, and trying to leave everything else in place. The reason why I want to leave everything in place is because it would just be easier if I do need to take out the battery and replace it with the old style battery. I can just reconnect some wires, take out the old wiring, jobs are good. So that's what we're going to look at next. That's going to involve me taking out the consumer unit, or undoing the screws for the consumer unit and bringing the consumer unit out. I'm going to disconnect, disable the battery charger. There's a few people I want to say thank you to, but yeah, I'm going to disable the battery first. That's what I'm going to do anyway, because I don't want to be shorting things out. So first things first, disconnect the battery, and then we're going to go in and have a look at getting the ECU out. ECU? It's not an ECU, is it? Distribution unit. I don't know. Whatever it is. The box that goes under the fridge. You'll see. So if you saw before, there was this switch here, which is sat in there. I've just disconnected that one. That's just the reverse pump. So I've got to get the battery out and disconnect it. God, these are heavy, aren't they? There we go. There we go. So it's only 100 amp hour, not 110 amps. So I'm going to get a bit more than what I thought. I need to get it out so I can get to the battery terminals, of which, once I've disconnected, I should be able to weigh this one, and then I'll have an empty hole here. See, I told you, it's the same day, but I just had to change into a t-shirt because I'm hot. Just before I've disconnected the positive. We'll disconnect the negative in a minute. But I am very much aware that on the roof there's a big supply of voltage. It's coming from the solar panel into the solar controller. So there will be live voltages attached to these, which I'll measure in a minute and check when I'm disconnected from the battery. So they'll have to be kept separate. It should be easy enough. I shall, looks like I'll just remove everything by the looks of it. It's they're just screwed together here. So I could just unscrew that. That'll then remove those, bag those or insulate those with insulating tape to make sure they don't touch the negatives. We'll do that. Right, I hope you can see. So I'm just going to check the voltage between the positive here and the negative, which is in here. Okay, and I'm hoping that I'll get a 12 volt, at least 12 volt supply there, because I'm still effectively charging my battery. Yeah, 13.5 volts. So that'll be coming directly from the solar panel through the solar charger. So I still have to be careful, very much careful, of keeping these apart from each other. Right, that's one battery out. Like I say, we've still got 12 volts, 13.5 volts on those. That needs to be actually what I could do is there, it says battery full. There's no battery attached. Solar panel. And then I've got a supply here to the batteries. If I disconnect one of those, that would stop the 13.5 volts, 13.5 volts going to the battery terminals. So I think what we'll do is we'll find out which one the positive is, which is the blue. We'll disconnect the blue, move that one out of the way, and then that should be nothing on there. It should then equal nothing on there. So let's do that now. So I've removed the blue, and you can see there's no battery attached, that it thinks it's full because there's no load. And I put my meter to 20 volts. I should now see 0 voltage across these here. Nothing, absolutely nothing across those, so that's good. Still going to keep them separate, so I'm going to drop the plus down one side and I'm going to drop the negative down the other side away from it. That's it, there we go. So they're completely, well, there's no voltage on them at all. I've got to work out where these wires are from and either relocate that switch or leave the switch there and run the cables, run some power cables to it, which I could do. But we'll see about that. I've got to turn my attention to taking that out so I can see what's behind. Right, here is the 100 amp hour lead acid. Hopefully you can see that, 22.2. Right, that's coming out. It's a big old battery, so there you go. 28.1 kilos. Welcome, baby, to your new home. Oh, he's a big old beast. She's home. She ain't gonna fit. Could have got somewhere else for it to go. Today is going to be another day, so another change in my battery install. I'm not doing this in one hit, as you can tell. I have found out that what I thought was just all 8mm lugs. Let me show you an 8mm lug. That there you go, look at that. That there's an 8mm lug. That will fit on the battery. I have purchased an isolator switch, which does exactly what it says. Isolates the power from the battery, so if I need to work on anything I can just, yeah. I don't know why I've done it, because the battery that was existing, the 100 amp hour lead acid, didn't have one, but I thought I'll get one anyway. However, the lugs in there are 10mm. So don't go thinking they're all one size, like I did. So rather than get a completely different isolator switch, which I did look at, and then I shopped and shopped and shopped and I couldn't find one with an 8mm lug, I decided to get the 16mm wire 10mm lugs. So these were from a company called City Electrical Factors, and they are 10mm. 10mm as opposed to 8mm, so you'll be able to see the difference in size. And it's purely the bolt size of that for the isolator and the bolt size for the battery. Bolt size for the battery is 8mm. So that means my expense has just gone up by another £4. However, as everybody keeps saying, I'm learning. I'm only joking. I've done this kind of electrical work before when I was an apprentice, when I was a bit younger. Just a bit younger. Part of that is this crimp looks lovely, absolutely wonderful. It really does. It's nice and tight. It's not going to come off, I don't think. But I've got a new tool, which I've never used that kind of tool before, with dies, different crimp sizes. So what I'm going to do is, this was a test. I'm going to cut this one off and then I'm going to hacksaw through the centre here, and that will show me how good or how bad the crimp is. Now, I'm looking for, where the lug is crimped onto the copper, I'm looking for it to be really tight. So when I cut through, all I want to see is a copper sheet. Don't want to see any holes, any gaps. If I see any holes or gaps, it may be that I don't have the right size lug. So I'm going to go and do that now. So here we are at the garage. There's my hacksaw. There's my hacksaw. Here's my vise. So I'm just gonna make sure that's nice and tight. Make sure that I can grip that. Maybe I can't grip that like that. Oh, just don't put too much weight on it. Right, so there is, if you can see that. Let's go back to the Caravan. Now, I do appreciate that what's going to happen possibly is that while you're hacksawing, you're going to force the copper to swage itself over, kind of. But I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Let me bring you out in some light. Don't know if you're going to see that, are you? That was the bit off the end of the cable. This is a bit off the lug, and I don't know if you can see that. I think it looks alright. I'm seeing all the copper strands all grouped together. I can see one slight gap at the top of the crimp here. That almost looks, and I don't think it is in the gland itself, it almost looks like where the gland has come around and squashed. Not quite done at the top. What I could do, I suppose I could turn that around and crimp it the other way, but then I think it might open it up, so I'll just leave it as it is. Generally, 99% of that cable, maybe 99.9% of the cable is crimped good, so I'm happy with that. We'll go with that. Right, let me just show you something. Oh, so currently in my battery box on the floor, it looks like that. Now, what I was possibly going to do is to put this switch somewhere else, reroute the cables. I think I'm going to leave this here at the minute, so I'm going to put that back in there. I'm going to connect, obviously, that to the black, that to the negative, sorry, that to the positive, that to the negative, get it right, Chairman. And then I'm going to leave these attached to the general, oh sorry, there you go, I'm going to leave these attached wherever they are currently, and I'm going to attach the main battery, this baby, to the joint, which means that these will be live. I've got a battery box in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw these to the battery box. One, that'll isolate the negative to the positive. Also, if I needed to, and I don't know why I would do, if I needed to, I could get a live feed from inside this box. Looks like I'm going to have to get this sticker as well, because that's the warning about it. Battery tray must be fitted at all times. For instructions on auxiliary battery installation, see user's handbook. So I'm going to leave these connected to the main. Leave these connected to the main 12-volt supply, and then isolate them within the box by screwing them to the battery tray, keeping them apart. And also there's a supply there if I need it. Yeah, so let's get on. I've started with the consumer unit. Let me show you. When I say I've started, I've taken out 2 screws down the side, and they are down in there. And I've taken out no screws this side, as you can or can't see. That might be able to help you. That'll come out next. And then one in the floor, and one in the floor. And then I'll see about lifting this out. I'm hoping that behind there's plenty of cable loose to allow this to come out to work on, because you're not going to be able to work on it with the fridge in place, and certainly not going to be able to work on it with the fridge in place with the bulkhead above it. So let's get on and take that out now. Hi, I'm back. Right, what I've done is I took the door off just to make it easier for one. I've removed the screws. This is now loose. And for the first time in my life, I'm just going to remove this, he says. You might not be able to, because there might not be enough. Oh no, it's a fail. That is a fail. Right, so the problem I've got is these lugs, these plastic bits here, they don't go past here. Which begs the question, how do they get the electric, how do they get the electric box in there? Oh, they couldn't have got the fridge. They put that in first. Well, this could be a bit annoying. Try again. No, those lugs are not going to go past there. Equally, I've got that might not be helping it. The little catch up there. Right, so I bought this long-handled screwdriver hex bit to do this, and that's just the right length. Actually, no, it's just the wrong length. It's just the wrong length to do that. Right, now I've got a bit more room here. Only a bit more. Come on. Yes, 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 that will come out. One side will come out, but the other side won't. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck at the minute as to why this won't come out. Well, I know why it won't come out. Because of those lugs. Can you see them? Very foul on this. So it makes me wonder that they put that in before the fridge came in. And then that means that this bulkhead here would have gone on after this went in. Right. Let's keep on. Right, I did manage to get it out. Oh dear, I did manage to get it out. So here is your battery charger in the top here. I should be able to undo a couple of screws and that'll give me access, but I'm looking at this, look, this hasn't even been put in right. Look. I mean, this is exactly as I've found it. These lugs are supposed to go in that little gap. Bailey. Well, it's not even Bailey. This is it BCE, CBE? I can't remember the name of the manufacturer, but apparently it's passed. Although saying that, let's get these screws off and see, just to make sure they could have been able to be put back in place properly. Right, so I'm taking the cover off. This slides out forward. It's actually located on a couple of tangs in there, and there is a plug. So I think for now I'm going to remove that plug because there's only plus and minus. This is literally just charging the battery, I think. There you go, I think the trip is on the battery charger and the fridge. Let's have a look. So yeah, the charger and the fridge. So the charger and the fridge are on the same circuit, on the same trip. So in disconnecting that, I'm hoping that it doesn't remove the power from the fridge. But only one way to find out, and that's to disconnect it, because I'm not charging the battery anyway, and pop the fridge on. But yeah, this cover here should have been inside there and inside there. That's how it should have been. But guess what? Guess what? Right, so what I'm going to do is put this back on, disconnect the battery charger. I don't think for any specific reason there's the battery charger coming out of the battery charger, these cables, these bunch of reds and blacks, and there's a red and white, so positive and negative coming out, and no doubt going to the charger, going to the battery, sorry. which we'll find out in a minute. Here's your mains cable coming in. We've got something here possibly to mains circuits, so to sockets. Where that's off of there, that shouldn't be off of there, but that there should be insulated. That's fine, that one there should be insulated, is not. A bit of strain relief would have not gone amiss, and a bit of a longer cable would have been better as well. So I need to find out. What I thought was these cables here would have come up into here, but they haven't. Now I know there's a isolator block under the bed, so I need to check that. I did think I would see some sort of isolator blocks in here. We are still live, by the way, on the 240 side, but there's nothing in here that I can touch really. It's loads of capacitor there. Not going to touch that, it's only a little baby one. So there you go, that's behind this box. I just need to find out where those batteries go, those battery wires. There we go. Right, come with me. Come with me. Just taking the table out of here. It's all there, and the mattress is there, and the bedding's over there. And don't choke him, for Christ's sake. Right. So under the bed is where I kind of expected to see. Well, I didn't necessarily expect to see these. These are what I used to see on the last Caravan I had, and these are like the battery connections. So I see the cables going all the way back there. So that seems to be the supply, and the supply seems to be coming in here. That's the negative. And then I have a positive supply there. However, the main power coming in is going directly to that isolator, which that could just be for the motor movers. Now then, that's a different thing, isn't it? That was hoping. Sorry, that was where I was hoping about connecting those two. Because if that is the main supply in, the 12 volt supply straight here. Let me just put you down a minute. Put you down there. So I've got a link here. That could be a fuse, I'm not sure. Could be a fuse. Here's on the there you go. Yes, so there is a fuse on that one, which is good, and there's one directly under here which also is fused. Let's go into there. This one here, go into there, so they're fused off this one. Now this is the isolator. And they're fused to that one there. This one here is the input, which is that one, which is coming direct back there. Okay, right, so none the wiser at the minute. Oh wait, let's get out from under the bed. So back under here I have got, there you go, there's the red cable. As you can probably see it, I don't know if I can set this up. There's the red cable and there's the black cable coming through. Now, I need to understand, I thought there would be a fuse directly on that red cable. That's okay. It's time to take stock, take a breath, and possibly remove the mains. Remove the main supply. So I need to find out where they're going. They're going that way. No, nothing goes into that cupboard. So I need to see where they're going. So although I had this unplugged earlier, in doing that, the fridge doesn't work. So this is supplying power to the fridge through this somewhere. So I've had to reconnect this, repower that up. So it's good to have it all done now. Still got to find where the reds and the blacks come in. From the battery. Well, this will explain a lot. So I kind of understand. We've got the two cables that feed the Caravan. Obviously, it's the load that's distributed over the two cables. I've now found out where the supply is. So, let me just stand up. So, under there is where the battery box is, and that's a clue there. So this is by the door. This is really accessible, and I think this is ridiculous as a design, because if you want to get to the fuses, as I thought there was for the Caravan, and there they are, there's the fuses, you got to take this out to get to the fuse. How ridiculous is that? And here's the distribution. So I've got to get two 12-volt cables here, two 12-volt cables here, so positive and negative, and disconnect these ones. Or, now I'm thinking out loud. Oh dear. Still think it's a stupid design. But I suppose what they've done is, yeah, they've just split the load over two smaller cables here, which go into the battery, go into here, which go into that one there. So I'm going to pull on that. Oopsie daisy. I'm going to pull on that falls over. So that there is pulling on that there, you see. So that's the fuses for the van. So I need to disconnect the two 16 mils that are down here. Need to disconnect them, which does mean I need to reroute the automatic. Don't like the way that was pinched in there either. The automatic retract for the legs in an emergency, but that's okay. Just got to think of something else now. But yeah, what a ridiculous place to put it. Highly inaccessible. So, well done, Bailey. Thanks for that. And these are the fuses I was looking for. Or at least they would have been. I don't know. Well, I don't know where they would have been, but I would have thought they'd been accessible. Well, there we go. Live and learn. Don't suppose they want you to take the Caravan to bits. So, I can't remember how far I got with you. Still the same day, by the way. I've just been in for a bit of lunch, and I've had a chat with a guy called Peter Caton. He's got a channel. I'll link it below. He's also going to be doing a lithium upgrade to his van. So it's always interesting to have a chat with other people and get their thoughts. Yeah, it's been really helpful. In particular, it's kind of cautious about charging lithium with your car, basically. And I think the problems stem from when your car is either at idle or idle speed when you're not going forward to allow airflow to cool your alternator down, causing causing the load in the alternator to get the alternator hot because it's not cooling down enough, so therefore overheating. However, I think I'm going to negate that by virtue that on my battery I'm going to put an isolator switch on, which should stop the car from charging the battery, so long as I isolate it and as long as I remember to isolate it before I tow. So there's always that human intervention going to happen on my system. But anyway, I think I got as far as showing you where. So the battery terminals come in here. This is all covered over, and the fuses are here. It's ridiculous. Well done, Bailey. Sorry, so if I'm repeating myself again, I do apologise. But as you can see, I've got some batteries coming through, which will go all behind the controller unit, under the bed, and to the battery. So obviously I need here to place my isolator switch, which will probably go on this wall. This is a fairly thick wall. I'll be able to get a small screw on there. Isolator on the side. Unfortunately, that will isolate the motor movers, so it'll have to be done once connected to the car. Okay, so more thoughts to happen. It might be that I put an isolator switch here. See, lots of thoughts. Just keep thinking, going through the installation process. Think. There's my isolator switch. So yeah, lots of thoughts, and lots of conversations. I've had messages from people concerned about lithium being installed inside and dangerous gases coming off. And as I understand it, and as I've watched everybody else, and I understand lithium, it doesn't produce the hydrogen gas that a lead acid battery that would do. In fact, it doesn't produce any, and also concerns about whether I was going to stand it in its normal position, which I'm going to anyway, not sat on its side. I don't need to. The battery's fairly square. So thank you anyway for any concerns and any comments in the previous videos where I've expressed an opinion that I'm going to be installing lithium, but I am. In theory, it should be safer internally than lead acid, hence why the lead acid is normally fitted to either an external locker or that locker there, which is under the floor, which is sealed with a rubber seal, and the gas can drop outside. So there we go, that's where we are so far. I've got to make off some cables, as in crimp them. I won't be doing the connection of the battery, that's why I'm going to leave the battery crimps until final. I do need to move my emergency switch for the E&P levelling legs. There is an emergency switch which is currently in the floor. I do need to move that, but that's okay, that won't be an issue. I don't really like it on the battery where it was anyway. It was interfering with the battery, and it was just slightly rubbing the top of the battery. So yes, I'm going to put that in the cupboard with the control panel. I might put it up really high, so enable to emergency retract it. You can put your finger over the top to press it, or I'm going to have to 3D print something to sit over the top, a cap to stop idle fingers. So yeah, that's where we're at in a minute. I might leave this video here and follow up with a second video with the install, and we'll see how we go. I'm going to say my farewells at the minute, and we'll be back with part 2 of the installation of this battery. So if you like what you've seen, any comments, thoughts, anything like that, pop them in the comments below. Anything, good, bad, indifferent, any thoughts, things like that you go through. Normally you see these installations in motorhomes. You don't really see them being installed in caravans, hence why I'm going to do it. I'm not saying this is the best way and the right way to do it, but I'm going to do it my way. And if you like what you see, hit that thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao.